Now, this is a segment that I hope Kyle will appreciate because he's always said, how many team fights do you have to win the game? And here we are, T1, first team fight, 15 and a half minutes in. They're going to trade their clockwork for 9 and the use of Ravage. And you'd expect that this would mean they can turn that into a tower. However, the problem is their only tower taking ability is the Death Prophet Ultimate, which was on cooldown for this. Also, that is their only really strong team fight ability. So the problem is they have a lot of single target heroes with very little tower damage. So a minute and a half later, team fight number 2, all of which they're slightly winning, no major wins throughout all of these, but all of them going in their favor. They're going to win this one off the back of that exorcism, amongst other things, and they are going to turn this one into a tier 1 tower. So after 2 fights, they get 1 tower. So then we're going to move to the next team fight where they're taking it right outside of Roshan. And the problem with this fight is, yes, they're right next to an objective that they can take after they claim the victory. However, they use the majority of the exorcism duration during the team fight itself. So we're going to fast forward. They're going to get 4 for 1. And instead of being able to advance their game plan, they're up by 5,000 gold. These are the moments where you punish. It's not about winning these fights. It's what you get out of the fights. They walk into the Roshan, realize they have limited damage, and they're going to waste the entire time that Tundra's dead debating if they're going to kill this Roshan. So they didn't actually get anything other than the kills themselves. So later on in the game, you can feel this awkwardness that T1 has. They're up by 5,000. They want to advance towards victory. What's the next step there? And they're going to linger inside the Roche pit, considering whether or not they're going to do it. And I'd like to highlight Cuckoo's items here, as the issue I see is that they don't have any single target physical. And as the panel said, I believe it was Cinder, and he called out the pipe. And maybe a Solar Crest or a Vlad's could have really helped them be able to take this Roshan. So instead, they hang out around Roshan and they look to take another fight because they don't feel like they can just force the issue because their objective taking isn't that strong. So despite this significant advantage, they've won several fights. They're going to win this fight as well. And then we're going to follow after this, where they've made Tundra retreat into their own base, and they're going to walk back to the Roshan. And they're going to try once again to turn a map control winning team fight into an objective. And after several team fights in a row, we all know what happens here if you watch the game. But after that many team fights, we're going to see 1 T1 tower taken, and then afterwards they're going to lose the Slark and actually give the Roshan to the side of Tundra. And this is just a game where I see it as one team had to win 5 to 10 team fights to win the game. The other one only had to win this one. And that just makes it really hard for you to end the game in this level of Dota.
It really does. And for Tundra, that meant that they indeed won that fight, and they took the game, took the series, means they haven't lost a single game today. On the flip side, of course, T1 has lost all their games today. But I want to talk more about Tundra, because if we look across all 4 games today, there is one clear MVP for the squad, and he's with us right now. Hey, Nine, congratulations on the series.
Hello, thank you a lot.
I have to, of course, I have to ask about the Keeper of the Light, because that is not like, is that something you just, hey, Fada, can I try out Coddle mid?
I mean, to be honest, we have not streamed it once, and I lost all my pubs with it. But I felt like this hero is pretty good. And all the pubs I lost, I didn't feel like it was my fault. I felt like I'm doing good, you know.
And how many pubs are we talking? Like, how many times did you try it out?
Just like 5 games, and I just won 1.
Easy.
But I felt like it's good. And then, to be honest, this was the best game I played on Quarter. So I was just feeling it.
Do you feel
I
like...
enjoyed it a lot.
Oh, sorry. Do you feel like it, for you, is a replacement for the Winter Wyvern mid?
It might be, honestly. I'm not too sure about Winter Wyvern right now. Got some significant nerfs, but this Kotl is definitely a really good hero right now, and as mid as well.
Yeah, it looked absolutely amazing. I'm here with Kyle and Effie that also like to pick your brain a little bit.
Do you have a list of support heroes that you think are secret cores that you just bust out during these tournaments? Is that what happens?
No, I don't have a list. It's just like when I grinded to high MMR my first time, I had to play like a lot of support heroes as well, because I didn't get core all the time. And so I ended up playing a lot of Winter Wyvern, Earth Spirit, and all these heroes. And then at some point I just also played them on mid because, you know, I enjoy playing these heroes and I feel like they can be good as well. So I just like stick with them even though when I'm a mid player.
Wow. Bringing supports and cores together.
Yep.
Hey, Nine, I just want to know, so you seem to specialize in these heroes, whether they're supports or like your Lina from the qualifiers, you know, double null into bots. Is that just a play style? I guess, did that come before your team's play style? Because you guys seem to play incredibly well around like wave mechanics, always kind of keeping lane shove advantages, and you're really good at just constantly playing all three lanes. Is that your play style and your team adapting or the reverse?
I think it just it's like both ways. I don't think at the beginning of this team I was like playing like this, and then just over time we played with each other more and more and adjusted in both ways. Like this lane shoving is really important in Dota, and most mid heroes can buy these boots of travel early without hurting their item build. So it is really good on the mid heroes, and I just had to adjust to it.
Right, well, now you've had 4 amazing games today. And coming into a tournament like this, do you feel like these games that you played today, did you play better than you expected, or did your enemies play worse than you expected?
I didn't really come in with expectations. I just see this tournament as a chance to play against the best teams that I can, because we didn't make it to TI. So this tournament is where we can still show that even though we didn't make it to TI, we are a good team, and we can be like, we are on the same level with all these teams. And I just came into this tournament with seeing it as a chance to play against all these great teams and learn from them and maybe even beat them. And I'm just trying my best.
I don't know if you're gonna, I think you're doing more of the teaching than learning, to be
If
honest.
anything, you're telling them how it's done, yeah.
You guys are setting the meta right now, for sure.
Yeah.
I have one question. So when the patch came out, as a team, how did you guys sit down and theory craft? Did you all read it separately and just come up with ideas, or did you get on a Discord call and just talk about things that could be good?
I mean, every time there's a patch, it's like, for me, it's like Christmas. I'm just very happy. I'm sitting on Discord with Skitter. Everyone who joins. We just talk about all these new things, and it's so enjoyable. And then we just play pubs. Everyone sees what works for them. Everyone gets their experience with this patch. And then we just come back for scrims and try to bring it all together.
Does that mean that you're happy with the patch? Do you like this? Were you happy with what you got?
I'm not a fan of Zoom meta, but overall, I always loved the change of the game. Like, I got kind of bored of all this Lina puck last patch, and now I feel like as the meta is not figured out yet, I can play whatever I want on mid lane. I can try to make whatever I want work. Everything might still be broken, you know?
That's true. I mean, it worked today. We actually we absolutely very much enjoyed watching you guys play today. Thank you, Nine, for taking the time to talk to us. And I'm sure we're going to talk more in the future.
Yeah, thank